It is about personality test rather than knowledge test. Knowledge they have tested at prelims and mains level. It is not that they will not test your in-depth understanding, but they will not certainly test your in-depth understanding and some theoretical knowledge of optional, not at all. Congratulations to all of you. Hope that you are enjoying the process of success. And opportunity for interview comes once in a while, you can consider, or once in a year, or many a time. It's a lifetime achievement. So hope that you will be focusing on your preparation. I just decided to tell related to optional public administration that what you should focus if you want to prepare related to optional, especially you know that in interview they don't have much focus on optional subject. You should also know that interview is not about optional subject. Already you have been tested at mains examination level. So if you have in your mind that optional you have to study, what you should do, what I should do. So I then don't think that you should worry much about optional subject. If your interview is very near, let's say that in January, so you should just give certain brush-ups, just some of those topics, which are very minimal level we can consider. And if you have your interview in Feb, March, April, accordingly, as per the time you know that allotted, you can focus. As if you have number of attempts left, so certainly that's your task is also, if it is in Feb, March, April, you cannot give your entire time for only interview. So we believe in sooner the better, you can say that. If you have in January, feel motivated, don't feel that you have very less time to prepare. Rather, you should feel that it is an opportunity, and sooner the better, you can say. Because interview is more about personality test. Keep in always mind. It is about personality test rather than knowledge test. Knowledge they have tested at prelims and mains level. Now they have to test your personality. Personality is about common sense, wittiness. This is how I can say the common sense, wittiness, wisdom that you apply. Then how quick and prompt you are in some of the things when they ask questions, and how you deal the interview situation with confidence. So let's take that how you should go through optional if you want to prepare it. We'll start by chapter, let's say paper 1 and chapter 1. So in paper 1, chapter 1, what you should focus? You should focus on first, let's see, definition of public administration. What is definition of public administration? Prepare a simple definition, which we can say that running public administration deals with running the affairs of the government efficiently. It is a very neutral definition. Don't try to talk about Minabrook third definition, etc., etc. Don't make it also complex. So that is how you should do it. And then let's say that definition part you can talk. So definition of public administration. Then about Wilson. This, you can see this. So Wilson, we can say, you should know about Wilson, and then about all other topics. All other topics, basically from NPA. This NPA we can take, NPA and good governance. This. So their name, what is NPA? They will not ask details. They're not going to ask in details about NPA, NPM or good governance. They can just ask you just to test your common sense, let's say wittiness, wisdom, how quickly you respond to that. So that way you have to take, so NPA you can take a bit, NPM you can take, yes. On governance and good governance, you will tell that, yes, you should know about governance, because it is related to in general, let's say. Governance, you should know about good governance. This, you should not know only definition, you should know a bit, because it is related to even general, you know that. General, it is applied, you will find this. it is related. So you should know governance, good governance, a bit more than NPA and NPM. This and that is how definition of public administration. Wilson, since he is the founder, and then these, let's say that three topics which you should focus. Then in chapter, let's say you can consider second, this any thinker of your choice. So you should focus on any thinker of your choice. This any thinker that you think, this you can consider. Certainly, let's say that ki thinker like say ki Max Weber. So even if Max Weber, you know that ki Max Weber, since bureaucracy, the bureaucracy you are going for, no? You are going for bureaucracy. Anyway, let's say a question can be asked to a general candidate also about bureaucracy. Yes. So that is what you have to know. So Max Weber, bureaucracy, this. And Max Weber should talk, read about some general aspect of bureaucracy, whether bureaucracy is relevant in India. So this is, let's say, bureaucracy. So whether bureaucracy is main pillar. Can we say bureaucracy as the main pillar? This, not necessarily in today's context because corporate civil society, but it plays, it plays, let's say, an important role you can consider. It can be considered as backbone. It is backbone still because given the challenges in our country, but at the same time you should tell that other things are also important. So other things also talk about this. So this way we can consider other things. I mean to say that corporate sector, civil society, they also play important role, but still we can consider as backbone. And that is how Max Weber you can prepare among the thinkers we can consider. If you take chapter 3, in chapter 3, let's say you should know about motivation, definition level, definition level knowledge you should have about motivation, leadership, this you can say this. And then let's say that you should know the difference also. Difference between, let's say, a leader, manager, and administrator. The leader, you know that leader is basically an influence, you can say. It is an act of influence. This personality related thing. Manager is something getting things done. It is a professional things it shows. Its professional ability is shown. And administrator is about exercise of authority. So it is about exercise of authority. So that way we can consider when we talk differences between them. Because in interview they have asked such questions. So that is how we can take first 3 chapters if you take. So we don't have to go details, let's say. The details you don't have to prepare about them. Rather you have to talk what, let's say we are trying to say, just brush up and at very common sense level that they can ask if they want to ask at all, because you cannot guess that what details they are going to ask. And when they ask, let's say that details, so then if you can recall it is good. If you cannot recall, then also let's say that we can consider next chapter 4. So from chapter 4, let's say there are 2 topics. Let's say public-private partnership and regulation. Already you know that they are applied topic, the PPP related things, projects and contracts in our country. Projects, contracts, and you know some good debt sector already you know that. Basically problems, you know that problems in India, you'll find this, what problems they have Recently, let's say over 800 projects are running late, as we have told that, which cost is, let's say over cost is going to be 5 lakh crore. This, that can be one such major challenge, you know this. Then you know that how CAG audit has also found. The CAG audit Sagarmala project, cost overrun, etc., delays, you know, why there are delays, what should be done. So PPP, let's say government has also come up with a guideline in 2023. So it is a plight topic. Anything which is in news in recent time, when you go for interview, any such project, etc., is in news, then you should prepare. Otherwise, you should know the definition, how to define PPP, what is PPP, you can say. That basic level they want to check your understanding, plus details, let's say that then regulation related, know that the recent SEBI, you know that SEBI and Hindenburg exposure. Since some articles have been written times related to regulation and role of CAG, role of public account committee, how they should be, they take head on. Means they should become more proactive, they should have more teeth. So they should have more teeth to, let's say that, tackle such kind of thing. Regulating the regulators, now it is being talked, let's say we should regulate the regulators, which I also talked in revision class in public administration that time, let's say. So already you know the applied topic in chapter 4, that is how you should try to prepare, let's say that. And then chapter 5, if you take, the chapter 5 is related to accountability control. And now it has so many things, you know, definition of accountability. You should know a definition of accountability. Then we don't have to talk legislator, executive, all these controls, not needed. Then directly come to RTI. This, and in RTI also, let's say that you should know that they're not going to ask, let's say, they may ask anything randomly, let's say, related to RTI. This, you can say, citizen charter, definition level, social audit, definition level, what is this? That you should know that. Then Lokpal, Lokayukta. Lokpal, Lokayukta, in your state, the state you belong, in that state you should see that what is Lokpal or what is Lokayukta. So that aspect should be, let's say that, told. Then let's say that Lokayukta, whistleblower. These are random questions which it can come in their mind, then they can talk. Then civil society organization, CSOs and Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Do you think that they are being very harshly regulated? So opinion based, this is how opinion based. Then media, let's say that, media, then social media. And then your views can be asked how to tackle fake news, other things, let's say that. There can be fake news, others. This. So that way, let's say they can talk when you, let's say that. The views, you have to take that, you have to form your views, because these are the issues, ongoing issues. So what are your views on this? That way you should prepare this. So these things can be taken from chapter, let's say when we talk chapter 5. This. Then if you take chapter 6, administrative law. So administrative law ka definitions, if you know. Then you should know rule of law, its difference, again definition level, difference. Then natural justice. Again definition, what is natural justice? That is, they can ask difference. They will ask largely difference or definition, let's say this. That way, if at all they have to ask. Then let's say that it's about, you can say that quasi-judicial body. Again, it is about more of definition. If at all they will ask. Otherwise, I don't think that they'll ask. Then let's say that chapter 7. This in chapter 7, when we talk about comparative public administration, CPA, again it is definition. You should know about definition, this comparative public administration. And let's say that relevance at all, otherwise not needed. Then chapter 7, 8, development administration. So again, key definition of development administration. What is definition of development administration? That you should know. Then it brings, let's say, self-help groups. Self-help groups, women empowerment, gender justice. Again, self-help groups, so they can ask about, let's say, this definition, why they are successful, what is their role, etc. This we will find this. So that much you have to know. Others you can avoid this. And then let's say chapter 9. Since personal is something, you know that. Personal, so you can prepare personal. This is related to civil services. So you should focus personal related to basically human resource development. And human resource development also in GS wala part also you should include. Recent times some articles have been written in the Hindu. Let's see, you should read it. The good articles written in the Hindu on this. You should read them if you have time about human resource development. Then it is about classification, position. So classification. Right, to all, let's say that all topics you should read properly. This just means if you want to prepare any chapter, let's say chapter in details, so that can be related to chapter 9 of this paper 1 and chapter 8 civil services. Chapter 8 civil services and chapter 10, I guess, administrative reforms. So if you have to read anything details, let's say, because ethics in administration, that aspect, performance appraisal, promotion, posting, transfer, these are all applied in nature in Indian context largely. Theoretical component you avoid. Whatever the theoretical aspect, technical aspect, avoid technicalities, avoid theoretical aspect, prepare more applied nature from Indian perspective, like say recruitment. Already you know that lots of scams, etc. is happening. So what do you think about recruitment? How can you, let's say, tackle such kind of challenges? So they may ask that they are just trying to test your common sense, try to understand. They are testing your common sense, testing your wisdom. This you should understand that. So you should prepare this chapter 9 details, all those things, the way we have taught. And avoid technicalities, avoid details, avoid theoretical aspects, same chapter 8, same administrative reforms, including definition. You should give emphasis on definition. There's a recruitment definition, performance appraisal, promotion definition. That can be similarly, let's say, administrative reforms definition. What is administrative reform? This. So these things can be considered related to civil services. You can talk this that aspect. And then chapter 10, if you talk. Chapter 10, this. So I guess chapter 10 is about public policy. If it is not, this public policy. Again, here applied nature, focus on applied nature. Right. Applied in the sense, let's say, what definition? First, what is public policy? This. Then let's say that evidence-based policy making. evidence-based policy making. Then you should know that ki called policy implementation problems. Indian context. Indian context में क्या है? Right, let's say government and its policy, that effectiveness, problems, what new it has in, what new it follows. So it should be more linked to, let's say that ki Indian context, ki the way already we hear lots of things, you know, that radical aspect, radical reforms. So what we have told you that ki how present government has learned from the past experiences, and then it adopts some of the institutional mechanisms to avoid past government's weaknesses in policy effectiveness. So those things, let's say institutional mechanism will find, funding mechanism will find, transparency you can find, participation we can find. There can be 4 important aspects of the present government. If you talk new, one is called institutional aspect. Next is called finance aspect. Next is called transparency. And next is called participation. So government tries to, let's say, it has, if you talk, let's say policies, let's say anything, any policy if you say, it will have institutional mechanism, defined institutional mechanism for implementation. Like say Mission Karmi hogi, Prime Minister Human Resource Council headed by Prime Minister. Digital India Initiative, there is another standing committee headed by Prime Minister. So institutional mechanism, then finance, let's say clearly define, you know that there will be a special purpose vehicle in case of Mission Karmi hogi. Before that there was national training policy and there was no funding mechanism, how it will be funded. So that you can consider that special purpose vehicle is set up so that there is a fund guarantee we can consider. This transparency, let's say how there is My Government portal, publications, reports, financial, let's say that public finance management system, you know that tracking system, that the public finance management system it has introduced. That brings transparency you can find. It's, let's say that fund utilization, this public finance, right? I think public finance management system. This and participation, it's citizens, collaboration, portal, this and that. It makes things more collective, participative. That's why Swachh Bharat Mission, Ujjwala, all these schemes, programs, you know how they are successful, more successful than past governments. So these are some new aspects you can learn about policy, etc., etc. So that is how I cannot teach these things. But already I guess you largely people are our students, so we expect they know all these things through model answers. You should revise also through model answers if you lack content or if you have notes through that, where there are applied nature of topics. So that is how you can see this. Then in chapter 11, I guess, techniques wala. This. So techniques part, in that techniques part you should know that you should focus on techniques part, especially related to when you talk ICT, e-governance, artificial intelligence, and basically you have to know lots of things related to artificial intelligence, right? As far as technology is concerned, technology related this and that will be the key in the, let's say. Although let's say MIS can be one aspect, I don't think that POD, CPM, etc. they will ask related. They will not go, they themselves may not be much familiar about all those practices. So this is how you can focus, and e-governance, artificial intelligence, and recent time government initiatives, etc. which government has taken. That you can take, especially in e-governance, you have DBT issue going on. Direct benefit transfer, artificial intelligence, already you know that the government has a policy, national innovation policy 2018. Then it has brought this Data Protection Act 2023-24 we can consider. Then let's say we told that Niti Aayog has various types of guidelines. It has issued, right, including principles of responsible, etc. Internet, etc. wala part also you should prepare here. From here itself, internet shutdown. Internet shutdowns, etc. This, so that way, let's say that you should try to prepare these things. So these things have been in news in recent times, and that way we can talk about that, how they can help you in terms of talking these important points. We'll find this, the ICT, artificial intelligence, even recent, let's say, current news which have been going on related to this, that is, you should prepare. It is again a very wide area because it covers GS also, that not only optional and related to India, and then lots of things are happening related to this. You should prepare it. And then finally, let's take a chapter if you take. So, chapter 12, Financial Administration. Right. And chapter, let's say, I think chapter 9 it is, Financial Management. This is chapter 9, Financial Management, paper 2nd. So basically in this, what you have to know is about budget. Since budget time may be going on, if your interview is not in January, the budget related thing you should know, then monetary policy, fiscal policy. This monetary policy committee that we have taken, so that should be known. Then let's see all those topics, let's say debt management, since they remain in news also, debt management, borrowings, deficit financing. So these topics also should know that. Types of budgeting if you talk, so not much. Largely you know output and outcome budgeting. And gender budgeting. This gender budgeting, and you know in gender budgeting, India has in budget 2024-25, I guess. 2024-25, let's say 6.5% budgetary allocation was given, which is over 3 lakh crore. So that was, let's say, increase. It has reached 1.1% of budget. GDP you can consider. So these are some of the things which you can say that when we talk budget related things. Then CAG related you can talk CAG. So you should know CAG because again it is an applied nature. Reforms, what reforms can be done related to CAG. Then let's say that CAG and its role in financial accountability, etc. will find this. So these things they will ask basically in the context of India if you talk financial aspect plus some current related things. So current related things can be linked to FRBM Act, etc. FRBM Act, fiscal consolidation. Then they can ask freebies here. This is how this freebies they can ask. So FRBM Act, freebies, this populism. These things you should prepare very well. Views, again will tell that. So wherever you find that topics are current oriented, applied in nature, in interview you have to ask, you have to prepare views. Think about that in interview, how much time they have for each question. They give you just few seconds. In that few seconds, what you are going to answer? So are they going to ask you very detailed questions? Not at all. Yes, in 1, 2, 3 such questions they can grill you. The grilling can be one aspect, but then largely they want to go through diverse number of topics to test your wisdom, wittiness, how quick you are when something is asked. What do you understand by NPA? How quickly you respond. What do you understand by good governance? How quickly you respond. So that aspect, let's say that it shows you, are you well prepared? This, are you well prepared on them? This, how your, let's say that mind works quickly, let's say that. This, because you have to take decision in a very quick time, no? A civil servant faces a situation and she has to take decision. It is not that they will not test your in-depth understanding, but they will not certainly test your in-depth understanding and some theoretical knowledge of optional, not at all. Eliminate this from your mind. They will test your in-depth knowledge on whatever the society applied nature of the things which is being faced. It can be artificial intelligence, there they can grill you. It can be internet related ban, there they can grill you. It can be law and order, security, it can be role of any district magistrate. So certainly not a theoretical core academic knowledge, if it at all, it can be your academic subject in graduation. So this you have to understand, and that is how you have to, let's say that prepare, and it means you have to give less time for optional. So this is for paper 1 I have taken. Take it as part one of the, let's say that I will give you in 2 parts. So I will record another video for paper 2, and there I will talk that what we can focus, and this is for paper 1. So hope that it will benefit you, it will help you and you will prepare. And if you are our student, you have qualified. So we have also IGP program in which we also call ex-bureaucrats. So you can also apply for IGP, which is generally scheduled on Saturday and Sunday. This time I have also decided to at least sit on Sunday and take interview and sit in that panel, let's say at times, especially on Sunday. So hope it can benefit and enjoy the process.